A bronze chain the size of a ship's mast snaps in Zeus's hands, and the whole prison screams like a living mountain as the Cyclops reaches for his eye. Because everyone came for an army, and Zeus came for a single weapon. And that weapon is about to wake Kronos' ward. How does a thunderbolt get forged in a cell that eats gods alive? And why is the Cyclops demanding a price Zeus can't pay? In the next 7 breaths, either the bolt is born, or Zeus is bound here forever. And that's not even the part that breaks the war. The iron floor is slick with ancient salt and old blood, and the air tastes like burned copper. Zeus can feel it, a sleeping rule in the walls, a Titan law that notices every promise. The Cyclops, one massive figure chained to the rock, leans forward until his shadow swallows Zeus whole, and the single eye narrows, not with fear, but with calculation. Zeus lifts his empty hands so the Cyclops can see there's no trick. "I didn't come to kill you," Zeus says, and his voice echoes into tunnels that were carved before the sky had a name. "I came to free you." The Cyclops laughs once, one heavy, contemptuous sound, and the laugh becomes a cough as the prison tightens its grip. "Free?" he rumbles. "You break 1 chain, and the ward tightens 10. You're young, Sky Child. You think the world is still soft?" Then the pattern interrupts, hard. A pulse runs through the rock like a heartbeat. Somewhere far above, something answers, a low, lawful hum. The ward has noticed. Zeus's skin prickles as if a storm is trying to form under his ribs. He didn't bring a weapon because he can't. Every blade, every spear, every trick of war turns dull in this place. The prison was built to make even gods harmless. He came for the one thing the Titans fear, a force that isn't metal, isn't muscle, isn't fate-bound to their old order. The Cyclops tilts his head. "You want thunder," he says, tasting the word. "Not lightning, thunder. The sound that tells the world who rules it." Zeus swallows, because the Cyclops is right, and because Kronos doesn't yet know that Zeus is alive, walking, building an uprising in the shadows. If the ward calls up to Kronos now, the war ends before it begins. The Cyclops extends a hand the size of a boulder, palm up, chains clattering. "My price," he says quietly, "is immediate. Forge it now, here, in the cell. And swear something the prison will remember." Zeus stares at him. "Now?" "Now," the Cyclops repeats, because the ward is already waking. And somewhere in the dark, far deeper than the chains, a second sound answers, the slow turning of a lock that was never meant to move. So what would you do if the only way to get a weapon strong enough to start a war is to give your enemy a reason to notice you? 48 hours earlier, Zeus stands on a cliff above a black sea, and the wind off the water is sharp enough to cut. Behind him, the hidden cave on Crete still feels like a secret under his feet, where he was raised in silence, where he learned to breathe quietly so his father wouldn't hear the sound of his existence. In the distance, the sky bruises purple, not sunset, omens. The world under Kronos doesn't do gentle colors, it does warning. At Zeus's side, Metis waits, tall, calm, eyes like deep water that never forgets. She isn't Titan, not Olympian, not yet. She is older than most lies and cleverer than most truths. "You're going to break the prison," Metis says. "I'm going to open it," Zeus corrects, because he's learned that words are not decoration. In Kronos' world, words are chains. Metis studies him like he's a riddle that might explode. "Your brothers and sisters are still inside Kronos, 5 swallowed, held in darkness. If we move too soon, he digests them. If we move too late, he turns the whole sky into a lid." Zeus's jaw tightens. He can picture it. Hestia's silence, Demeter's hunger for sun, Hera's eyes that have never seen a horizon, Hades and Poseidon crushed together in the belly of their father like swallowed stones. "And if we do nothing," Zeus says, "Kronos eats the future." Metis nods once. "Then we do the dangerous thing. We make Kronos vomit a generation." The plan is simple enough to be insane. Get close to the king of the Titans, poison him with a draft that forces truth from flesh, and pull 5 gods out of a stomach that has been a prison for ages. But Metis doesn't stop there. "And then," she says, "you will need something no Titan has ever held in his hands." Zeus looks at her. "A thunderbolt," she says. The word hits like a drumbeat. Zeus has dreamed of storms he's never seen. The hidden cave taught him to listen for the sky, and sometimes, only sometimes, he swore he heard something answering him from far above, like the world wanted to speak. Metis lifts a small clay vial. "This will make Kronos open," she says, "not his mind, his body. But it will also make him listen. The moment he realizes what you've done, he will hunt the source of the insult." "And the thunderbolt?" Zeus asks. Metis turns toward the sea. "Locked away," she says, "with the ones who can forge it, the Cyclopes and the 100-handers. Kronos chained them in Tartaros because he feared what their hands could make." Zeus feels something like relief, then immediately dread. If Kronos feared them, then freeing them is an act of war that cannot be taken back. Metis's voice lowers. There is a ward on Tartarus, a law asleep in stone. If it wakes, it calls its maker. Zeus watches the horizon like it might crack. "So we do it fast." Metis's gaze sharpens. "No," she says, "we do it clever. Fast gets you killed. Clever gets you remembered." That night, Zeus walks into the heart of Kronos' world, not as a warrior, as a cupbearer. Kronos' hall is a cathedral of old order, pillars like petrified trees, a ceiling so high it feels like the sky was captured and pinned. The Titans sit like mountains wearing crowns, their laughter heavy, their voices slow, like they have all the time in existence. And at the center, on a throne carved from the concept of inevitability, Kronos reclines. His eyes are beautiful in the way a blade is beautiful. His smile is warm in the way a furnace is warm. Zeus keeps his head down and his steps measured. He carries a golden cup, wine dark as blood, sweetened with Meteor's draught. The vial's contents were clear, innocent-looking. That's how the cleverest poisons always look. As Zeus approaches, he feels it, the air thickening with Titan authority. Every step closer is another step into a story that ends with him being swallowed too. Kronos looks down at him, amused. "You," Kronos says, "I don't know your face." Zeus bows deeper than his pride likes. "New," he says, eager to serve. Kronos' gaze lingers, too long, like the king is tasting the shape of Zeus's lie. Then Kronos reaches for the cup. Zeus's fingers almost tremble, but he locks them. He has learned something in the cave. Fear is a storm. If you give it a path, it takes you. Kronos drinks. At first, nothing. Then Kronos' smile falters, just a fraction. His throat moves again. His brow tightens like the sky before a break. A Titan lord to the left laughs at a joke and doesn't notice. Another Titan to the right argues about territory. The hall keeps breathing. But Kronos' hand grips the arm of his throne. "Interesting," Kronos murmurs. His eyes snap to Zeus. "Who are you?" Kronos asks again. And this time it isn't amusement. It's recognition hunting for a name. Zeus raises his head. "I'm the son you missed," Zeus says. Silence drops like a guillotine. For a heartbeat, the hall doesn't understand what it heard. Even the torches seem to stop flickering. Then Kronos convulses. The draught doesn't kill him. It forces his body to betray him. Kronos doubles forward, and the sound that comes out of him is not a roar. It's the first crack in an empire. He vomits, not liquid. A goddess. Hestia hits the floor on her hands, coughing, eyes wide with a life she didn't expect to get back. Then Demeter, gasping like she's inhaling the entire concept of spring. Then Hera, hair matted with darkness, staring at the hall with fury so cold it feels like marble. And then two more shapes, Poseidon and Hades, spill out as if torn from the inside of a nightmare. The hall erupts. Titans stand, their thrones groaning. Shouts smash into each other. Somebody reaches for a weapon and finds their hand empty, because even in his own hall, Kronos built rules that keep others dependent. Zeus grabs Hera's wrist as she tries to lunge for Kronos with bare hands. "Not here," he hisses. Hera's eyes lock onto his, and in them Zeus sees it. A promise of war, a lifetime of score settling. She doesn't thank him. She doesn't need to. She simply nods once, like an oath. Poseidon staggers, then straightens, sea salt fury rising off him as if the ocean itself is taking a breath. Hades doesn't speak at all. His silence is heavier than the Titans shouting. Kronos wipes his mouth with the back of his hand. And then he laughs. It's not warm. It's not amused. It's the sound of a father realizing his child has teeth. "My son," Kronos says, voice rippling through the hall, "you grew where I couldn't see." Zeus's heart tries to climb out of his chest. Kronos' gaze flicks over the 5 gods on the floor like their objects returned to a shelf. "And you brought back what I put away," he says. "How brave, how foolish." The air bends. Time itself seems to hesitate because Kronos is the titan of time, and when he pays attention, moments kneel. Metis' warning burns in Zeus's mind. The moment Kronos realizes what you've done, he will hunt the source. Zeus doesn't give him a second longer. He shouts a single word. One Metis taught him, a word that means break the story, and the torches in the hall explode into smoke. Darkness floods, confusion bites. Zeus yanks his siblings toward the doors, and the 5 of them move like a new constellation forming under pressure. Behind them, Kronos' voice carries through the dark, perfectly calm. "Run," Kronos says. "Make it interesting." They don't stop running until the night air hits them like freedom. Outside, the world feels bigger and more fragile. Zeus can hear Hera's breath like a weapon being sharpened. Poseidon looks toward the sea as if it's calling him by name. Hades watches the stars with the expression of someone who has been forced to memorize darkness and is now seeing light for the first time. But Zeus knows the truth. This is not victory. This is the opening move. Because behind them, in Kronos' hall, the Titan King is standing up. And a king who has been publicly humiliated doesn't just retaliate. He makes examples. Metis meets them at the edge of a ravine where the land drops away into mist. She doesn't waste breath on congratulations. "He knows," she says. Hera's laugh is sharp. "Good." Metis ignores the heat and looks at Zeus. "Now the war becomes real," she says. "And real wars are won with tools, not courage." Zeus nods, but his hands are still stained with wine and bile, and the fact of what he just did. Poseidon steps closer. "What tool?" Metis answers with one word. "Thunder." Hades finally speaks. His voice is quiet, and that quiet makes everyone lean in. "And where?" Hades asks. "Do we find thunder?" Metis points, not up to the sky, but down. "Tartaros," she says. The name falls into the ravine and doesn't echo back. In the days that follow, the young gods gather what they can. Not armies, yet. Allies, secrets, old grudges turned into promises. Some titans are loyal to Kronos out of fear, others out of habit. But the world has cracks, and cracks are where new things begin. Zeus seeks those cracks. He finds them in whispers from the edges of the world, titans who remember Kronos' cruelty, spirits who hate the way time has been chained, creatures who were punished for having too many hands, too many eyes, too much strength, and always, above it all, the threat of Kronos' attention looms like a blade hovering over their necks. Because Kronos doesn't need to find them by footprints, he can find them by pattern, by the shape of rebellion. On the 3rd night, Zeus stands with his siblings at the mouth of a fissure in the earth. The opening is narrow, but the darkness inside is endless. Hera crosses her arms. "If this is a trap," she says, "I will strangle whoever built it." Demeter touches the stone and flinches. "Nothing grows near this," she whispers. Poseidon rolls his shoulders like he's trying to remember how to be a storm. "I smell chains," he says. Hades simply steps forward, gaze fixed on the black. "I know this kind of dark," he says. "It's been waiting." Zeus takes a breath. The fissure exhales cold. They descend. The world above fades quickly, sound becomes strange, swallowed by depth. The air grows heavy with old rules. Metis follows last, her footsteps light, her eyes watching everything. "The ward," she murmurs to Zeus as they pass a wall carved with symbols that look like teeth. It sleeps until it hears a vow. Zeus's throat tightens. In Kronos' world, vows are dangerous. They stick, they reach a gate, not a door, an idea made solid. 2 slabs of black stone pressed together so tightly there isn't even a seam. And across it, a single chain wrapped in spirals, each link etched with time marks. Poseidon touches it and recoils. "That's his," he says. Kronos' chain. Zeus steps forward and places his palm on the stone. The gate doesn't open, it listens. The ward is here. Zeus can feel it like a mind behind a wall. Metis' voice is close. "No oath," she warns. Zeus nods. He does the only thing he can do without swearing. He lies. "I am not here to break this prison," Zeus says to the gate, each word carefully shaped. "I am here to return what was stolen." The ward hesitates. The chain shivers, not from weakness, but from confusion. And in that hesitation, Zeus moves. He grips the chain with both hands, plants his feet, and pulls. The metal is cold beyond cold. It burns. The ward hums again, louder now, waking. The symbols on the links flare faintly, like embers under ash. "Zeus," Hera snaps.